Hey everyone! Today I am going to be talking about my first impressions for the newest magic set, Rivals of Ixalan. I just went to the pre-release today, which was a lot of fun. Honestly, it was probably the most fun I've had at a pre-release. I don't know if it's because this is the set, but I just had a lot of fun because I went to a two-headed giant event and just had a lot of fun playing with my friend. I was playing with one of the friends that got me into the game, but it was a lot of fun, and we did pretty well. We went 3-1. Our one loss, it was due to our play mistakes, but that happens. It was a lot of fun. Of course, everything I'm saying is like first impressions, and I haven't drafted it yet, and draft's my main format, so I'll have to see how I like it in draft. Not just two-headed giant sealed, but two-headed giant sealed was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I would have at this point I was thinking, oh, I'll just go through my deck and like talk about like what I was doing, but I had to disassemble the deck because we had this 200 event, like you share your pools. I should step back again. Okay, for people who don't know play Magic, because I know there's a lot of you on the channel that watch the channel, is that a pre-release is an event that happens a week before a new set actually comes out. It's your first chance to like play with all the cards and stuff. Where you play sealed, which is where you open 6 packs and you get to build a 40-card deck out of them. But at a 200 diamond event, you enter as a team, and at this one you could use both players' pool of 6 packs to build both your decks. So the deck actually ended up being quite powerful. But because we had to share and we had to undivide the cards up between us at the end, I still don't actually have my deck, but I was playing white, green, splashing black. I was mostly just kind of like ramp and stuff at the early game and do some pretty nice big dinos. The current set is Rivals of Ixalan, which is the second set in the block, which is it's the Pirates and Dinosaurs world, which is, flavor-wise, I love it. Ixalan, the one before it, wasn't the best set. It wasn't a great draft environment. Standard isn't that great right now, and Ixalan had a lot of problems, and I don't know if Rivals has fixed this, but my experience of this pre-release was better than mine at the Ixalan pre-release, which, it's not a great comparison because, like, it was a different format and whatnot, but first impression, it feels less linear than Ixalan, which I enjoy. Where was I? But yeah, no, I was playing white, green, ramp, so I pretty much had a bunch of dinos and stuff, but it was also because I actually had a lot of fixing. I was splashing black for the white-black flip land and the black-green flip land, which I'll talk about later because I'm gonna go through other things in the set for it. But it was really good. So I would have a bunch of creatures. I was just attacking and doing stuff. Whereas my friend, he was running blue-black, like splashing red a little bit. We actually had double Highland Lake, which made like going Grixis a bit easy. But he was just like essentially removal, counter spells, and hand attack. So he just paved the way to me to just smash with dinosaurs, and it worked out very well. But yeah, so I'm gonna talk about some things. But yeah, no, it's I liked that I didn't feel like I was super tight into one of the tribes in my pool. That might have just been the nature of the sealed in this format, but it didn't feel like I was wrong because I wasn't like going all in on dinosaurs or all in on merfolk, or all in on vampires, because I had a little bit of everything. I had no pirates. I wasn't in the color for pirates, so no pirates. Sorry to any pirates who are watching. You do you with your pirating. Yeah. Piracy, that's the word. There's a real word for this. A college education in English is really paying off. But back to things. I actually have the spoiler up here, and I'm just going to talk about any cards that stood out to me, at least in the sealed environment, or things that I'm probably going to be putting into decks and stuff. First of all, I had Bishop of Binding in my pool, and it was one of the only vampires I ran. This is a 4-mana 1/1 that you can O-ring something whenever it's battlefield, so it exiles until it leaves. But whenever it attacks, I can give a vampire +X/+X, which X is the exile creature's power. So if I exile 6/6, which happened, if it attacks, I can essentially make it attack as a 7/7. But I don't know, it just felt always so weak because it was a 1/1. Other times it didn't get the power, so it's very easy to kill. There's a lot of enter the battlefield effects, which you might just double up on your opponent in the set, especially with a lot of the merfolk and whatnot. And just it being a 1/1 is a huge liability in the set with the Dinosaur Forerunner, which whenever a dinosaur in the battlefield, it'll ping everything for 1. There's the -2/-2 everything card, and there was just so much that it had trouble with that I'm like, I don't know, it just seemed very weak, and oftentimes when I had it, I was holding my hand waiting for the moment. It just felt like a very much win more card. It's almost best okay, let's clear out your last blocker for temporarily and swing in because it's so easy to remove. I think it'd be different if I had more critical mass of vampires because at least then if you have a flyer or something, you can play Bishop Binding and give it's on attack, not beginning of combat. Just because you can't get the +X/+X until your next turn. Because you're not getting this haste. You're not going to be playing red in your vampire deck for haste enablers. I don't even know if there really are any haste enablers for other creatures that don't natively have it in this set. But I don't know, it just felt really weak. Yeah, if it was just at the beginning of combat, get +X/+X, I'd be more interested. Or if it just had better stats, even if it was a 1/2 or a 1/2 or 2/2. Heck, even just an 0/2, I think would be better than a 1/1, just because 1/1s are so weak in this format. Because there's just so many things that ping me. There's the red-green uncommon that whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to a target creature, and there's just a lot that can happen to it. Blazing Hope. It's the 1-mana exile target creature card with power greater than or equal to your life total. That was actually played against us as one of the few answers to our Vetalpa, which I'll talk about later. So Vetalpa was very good. Yeah, but Bishop of Binding in terms of relevance to my decks. I'll also talk about things I'm going to put in my commander decks because that's my main constructed format. Bishop of Binding, I'm just not going to put in that. It just isn't high enough impact for commander, and honestly, it just almost gives protection for something. You remove their big threat, but then on a board wipe, everything's wiped, but they get their threat back after the board wipe. That's not something I'm into. Famished Paladin, I don't have one, but I'm putting it in the life gain and putting it with the Kithkin that can go infinite life gain with it, which is the Famished Paladin does not untap during untap tap. Whenever you gain life, untap Famished Paladin. It's a 2-mana 3/3, which is great stat, solid stats. In a life gain deck, that isn't a drawback at all. It almost gives it vigilance. But there's a Kithkin from Shadowmoor that gives all white creatures have tap, gain 1 life, and this goes infinite with that because you tap it, gain 1 life. Okay, trigger to untap it goes. You untap it, and then you just gain as much life as you want in individual triggers, and yeah. But I need to get one of those. I didn't actually open one. When I did it, I did get Vampiric Tutor, and by that I mean the vampire that tutors for other vampires. This is definitely going right into my vampire deck, because why wouldn't you want a tutor that also gives marginal upside? Actually, it gives fair amount of upside because whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. But with Edgar Markov, every time I'm playing a vampire, I'm actually using 2, so it actually gives me 2 of those triggers. And I'm trying to actually spam just a bunch of triggers like that, as well as just getting whatever vampire I need out of my deck, or at least on top of my deck, which is just really useful to have. Martyr of Dusk. It's actually a common, but it's a 2-mana, 2/1 vampire that when it dies it makes a 1/1 lifelink. I'm actually going to test this out in Edgar because I'm just like, I need to lower my curve a lot in Edgar, and this is just a nice value creature where, okay, so I play it, Edgar triggers, I'll get another vampire, and when it dies, okay, I'll just get another one back. So this is giving me, actually with Edgar, like 4 power worth of creatures, one of which with lifelink, for just 2 mana, and that's not bad at all. Plus it's another vampire. It's across like 3 bodies for getting counters and other synergies, so I'm gonna test it. If it underperforms or a thing, but it's just one of those draws that's like, okay, it's real solid. Paladin of Atonement, I didn't open it, but it's a 2-mana 1/1 that at the beginning of your upkeep, if you lost life turn or that turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. I was thinking about this for life game, but I just don't feel like it's good enough. Just like 1 counter every turn. If I lost life, it just doesn't seem good. It doesn't fast enough. It doesn't build up fast enough. It's also only, it's just, I don't know. Unless you had like a way to ping itself in EDH and like get it every upkeep and get that trigger happening all the time, I just don't see it being good. Radiant Destiny, also didn't get it, but like it's just a 3-mana essentially, +1/+1, but if you have Ascend, you get, which is if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing. You can also get Vigilance. I don't know, I probably, if I get one, I'll probably put it into some of my decks. I feel like it could be good in Humans as a replacement to Always Watching, which is a similar effect, except it isn't tied to a creature type, but it requires non-token creatures. And my human deck has gotten to the point where it's like fairly even between creatures and non-creatures, so I'm considering switching that up. Squire's Devotion, I'll talk about that in a minute because I got to do stupid stuff with it. And yes. So the MVP of my deck was definitely Vetalpa. Vetalpa Primal Dawn is one of the elder dinosaurs in the set. 8 mana, but I had a lot of ramp. I had like the Seer, I had the guy that makes all your dinosaurs cost 2 less. I had I think I had 2 the New Horizons, which like just ramps at 3. But it is a 4/8 flying double strike vigilance trample indestructible. So they need to have an exile or pacifism effect, otherwise this will just do a beating to you. And I also had a couple of the Squire's Devotions, which gives +1/+1 lifelink and makes a vampire. But just making this like a 5/9 double striking lifelink is just amazing. And its vigilance just means they can't attack into you anymore. And it was very effective. Like, essentially, it's a great question. If you play this, either they answer it and, okay, you move on, or they die. That's the simple thing. Granted, it takes a few hits, but even then, it's just such a beating every turn. It has vigilance, so they can't attack into it. So, yeah, it's a good card. Very good card. I think I'm putting this into Big Butts Lifing and Aggro just because it has 8 toughness and it has double strike and all other things. Like, it's a good top end for that deck because if it hits and it isn't blocked, that's gained 16 life, and that isn't even with a lifelink, just off of Ixalan's triggers. So, yeah. Next, going to blue. I didn't play blue, so I wasn't, which is sad because I love blue. But I don't know. Blue seemed fine. I wasn't actually paying too much attention. We were running actually a lot of like negates and stuff, and like bounces and things like standard blue stuff, just because to keep just the tempo going and keep the board clear. So while I ramped up to my big dinos, and also to then just protect my big dinos. Like a couple times we just used bounces on Vetalpa because it got like radiant bonds or whatever. Sea Legs is possibly my favorite card in the set. So it's Sea Legs. It's a 1 blue flash enchant creature. It gets +2/+0 as long as it's a pirate. Otherwise, it gets -2/-0. It's just so great flavor where it's kind of like, oh yeah, like it's essentially like the whole like idea of like, oh, like essentially you're making your opponent's creature, if they're not a pirate, seasick, which I just think is a great flavor. Or you just help your guy get more sturdy because they're on the sea and they're having a great time. But there's a lot of good merfolk, and I've been considering like looking into building a merfolk deck, but currently I'm thinking my Cynic slot is going to be taken up by the Izuri Elves deck I want to build, just because like, I don't know, and everyone's playing a merfolk deck right now, and Chimera is like $12 right now, so I'm not getting a Chimera unless I get lucky in Damson. Keeping my prize packs I got still just unbroken because my best friend and I, she's not super into Magic, but we'll play Pack Wars a lot, and I have a lot of Unstable, but Unstable actually I found isn't wonderful for Pack Wars, so yeah, hopefully we'll play some more Rivals, which is nice and creature based, which is easier for her. Hopefully with Magic 2018 this summer, I'll be able to get her a bit more into it. Or is it 2019? I don't remember if it's one of the ones where they do it like the next year. I think it's 2018. Okay, this is gonna bug me if I don't look this up right now. Oh hey, I'm actually already on the Magic website. Oh yeah, it's Magic Core Set 2019. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be good, like just good for like easy level Pack Wars. What else? Things that were fun. Yeah. My friend who was playing with me, I think he had all except one creature. Everything he had was like, I'm not putting in my deck unless it has evasion. So it says flying, unblockable, or whatnot. I need that evasion. Okay, but moving to black. Arterial Flow. This is a 1 black. Each opponent discards 2 cards, and then if you control a vampire, it drains them for 2. But this is such a beating in Two-Headed Giant where it's a 4-for-1, and every time we cast it, it just felt great. Especially like even on turn 3, because normally you don't want to use these like discard 2 cards like early on, because it's, I mean, you're getting a 2-for-1 technically, but you're usually trading a decent card for like their 2 worst cards. But when you're trading 1 card for their 4 worst cards, it just feels so much better. Yeah, play that card if you're playing in a Two-Headed Giant event. It's very good. Champion of Dusk didn't get it, but I need to get it for vampires, where it's 5 mana 4/4. When you're in this battlefield, draw X cards and you lose X life, or X is the number of vampires control. Notably, with the way the stack works, when you cast this, the Edgar token comes in first, so you always will get at least 2 off of it. So even if you cast this after a board wipe, that's a 5 mana 4/4 that drew you 2 cards, and you get a 1/1. And I mean, that's solid. I like creatures that cantrip, especially when they cantrip and give you more value than you thought. Dead Man's Chest. This was my promo. I still don't know how good this card is, but it was a lot of fun. So essentially, it's a 2-mana aura that you enchant a creature that an opponent controls. And when that creature dies, you get to exile the top X card of their library, where X is their power. And you can cast any of the cards in there as long as using mana of any color. Just like as long as you want. So essentially, like, good cases, like you play this on like a 5/6 power dinosaur and you kill it. You get kill skill or comet or whatnot. But we can't, and you like, you can probably get hit like 2 to 3 cards off of it. Except this was sealed and everyone was playing their bombs, and we got to hit like really good things like the 8/5 like dinosaur that makes you sacrifice things on Enrage, or the what was it? The 12/12 Elder Dinosaur in green. And we had so much just hard removal, whether it be Impale or Ravaging Chupacabra, or no, it's Crown. What is it? Ravenous Chupacabra? Yes, Ravenous Chupacabra. the mythic uncommon. That's just like, oh yes, I will play this in the same turn, pay 4 mana to impale it. Okay, I exile the top 12 cards of your library, now I can cast them. It was great. It was amazing. I loved it. I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I'm thinking maybe whenever I actually get around to putting together my Daxos Curses deck, it would be a great place for it. Dinosaur Hunter came up a few times where it's a 2-mana 2/2 that essentially, whenever it deals damage to a dinosaur, destroy that creature. This just felt so weird because it's like, it's supposed to be like, okay, it's supposed to trump dinosaurs, but at most it trades with the dinosaur. Because, like, what? It's a 2/2. Like, what are you trading with? Are you trading with, like, the 1/7 Looming Allosaur and it can eat that? But it's just like, almost every dinosaur it just doesn't trade with. It's just weird. And pirates are, like, supposed to be, like, fairly aggressive in this format, and, like, I don't know, it's a decent blocker, but, like, I mean, like, sure, they're just not going to block with their big dino. It's like, oh no, they let 2 damage through. It just doesn't, I like the flavor, but I don't really like I just don't know. I do need to get a Dusclion Gel. It's the common, like, Elvish Mystic, but as a vampire, but I just didn't pick one up. It's another good thing to lower my curve on my deck. My vampire deck. Like I said, Ravenous Chupacabra, very good card. It does not take a genius to know that that is an amazing card. It's a 4-mana 2/2, when enters battlefield, destroy target creature. Yeah, turns out that's good. It's a Timok, Primal Death, the one that you can, like, reveal from your hand and put a prey counter on things. We actually faced that a couple times. I don't know, it was just, like, so slow and dirtily, and it actually, like, messed up a lot of their plays and let them, like, not curve out, and it actually ended up not being the worst thing for us, especially since we have Summer Removal, and it's just like, okay, you killed a few of our things, but you also messed up all of your plays for that turn, and then we just removed your 6/6 Death Touch. I mean, like, it was decent, but, like, not worth, like, not hitting, like, a lot of your creatures on curve. Twilight Prophet I need to get, but, I mean, that one's gonna be expensive for a while because it's so good. It's a vampire, but it's a 4-mana 2/4 with Ascend. It's flyer. But if you have Ascend, if you have the City's Blessing, you essentially reveal the top card and draw it, and you get to drain all your opponents for its converted mana cost. I probably need, like, 5 of them. Honestly, it's one of those cards I feel that goes into almost any ADH deck that is running black. It's just so good. It's like getting a City's Blessing is not hard in EDH, unless you're running, like, a really weird, like, Spellslinger deck that's, like, mono Spellslinger. But even then, it's like, okay, you're probably not running black in that, unless you're playing, like, Grixis Spellslinger. But even then, that one has, like, more permanents and creatures that you're going with. But just, like, unfortunately, it's, like, also, like, $10 right now. So maybe I'll wait, and maybe it'll go down, or maybe it won't. Who knows? But basically, it's a 2/4 flyer. Oh, what else? Red. I did open a Blood Sun. I didn't pull it out. I don't know where I'm putting it, but it'll be cool. It's the Winter's Battlefield draw card, so it cantrip, so that's always good. And then all lands lose all abilities except mana abilities. I really don't know where we're playing it. We didn't play it because I actually had 3 of the flip lands, and I'm just like, that's probably gonna hit us more than it hits anyone else, and we don't really want to run it. Yeah. The red Elder Dinosaur was the only one I actually didn't run up against. Actually, no, we didn't run up against the blue one either. Form of the Dinosaur. I don't think it's a wonderful card, but I really love the card. The Forerunner of the Empire, which is the dinosaur one that, like, whenever a dinosaur enters the battlefield, you can just essentially ping everything one. That was insane. Like, in terms of the amount of value you can pull out of that, both by triggering Enrage, like killing off random X1s, because there's actually a lot of X1s in this format. There's the 2 on pirate that gives flying whenever it attacks, which my my friend had a lot of, and was like a lot of his like DPS and stuff. Or like just triggering random ranged creatures, and the fact that Winter's Battlefield it tutors for a thing in it anyway. It was just very good. Fortunately, did not have to go up against a Rekindling Phoenix, so that's nice. The Silverclap Ferocitons, that's the 8/5 that whenever it deals damage has to sacrifice permanent. It actually got 1 trigger off before we did Manchester and built it and drew Excel type of cards, but it got 1 trigger, which didn't do too much to us, but it was pretty sweet. Yeah, in green, I don't know, I don't remember much of note being in green just because I didn't do much. Galta Primal Hunger, it's the 12 mana, 12/12 of trample with cost X less, which is X number of power from creatures you control. I do want to get one of these to put into Vial Smasher because cheating mana costs is great for Vial Smasher. I know, what if that also did 12 to an opponent on top of that? But, yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like one of those things where I'm, like, super looking to, this one's just so much worse than, I feel, than the Vetalpa. Just because this can be answered by almost any form of removal that isn't, like, the super conditional one. Like, sure, 12/12 trample is a good question, and it does very good, but, like, the lack of vigilance, flying, and all those other things, like, I'll take the 4 less, like, damage it does for just the sheer staying power that Vetalpa has. Granted, Vetalpa is easier to cast, which is something to be said. I mean, I won't say no to either of them, but just was so much easier dealt with, but just destroy abilities and whatnot. Hunt the Week turns out very good with Vetalpa. Who would have thought? Knight of the Stampede, the one that makes dinosaurs cost 2 less. Very nice. Like, 2/4 is actually very relevant in this format. Like, obviously not as much if they're running dinosaurs, but, like, against a lot of their other like, if they're running, like, merfolk or dinosaurs, like, that just stops, or merfolk or vampires or pirates, that stops a lot of the stuff in their track, assuming they don't have evasion, and making your stuff toss loss, because, like, that was, like, a format at Suja, it'd be play Knight of the Stampede, next turn, drop Sepulta, or play Knight of the Stampede at 5 mana and drop a Death Gorge Scavenger, which I had, or play that and gramp into the Stegosaurus. That's that is the Dinosaur Lord. That also you can pay 6 mana and make a new dinosaur. But it was just like so much you could do with that. Overgrown Armasaur. I had one of those. It's the 4/4 for 5 that gives Saproling Sun and Rage, which I liked because I really love the Saproling tokens in the set. They're like little flowers. I like Saprolings. I haven't really played with them because I only started doing Shadows, so they haven't been around for a while. At my event, there wasn't I didn't see any Polyraptors go off. It's the 8 mana 5/5 that when you deal damage to it, create a copy of it. I didn't see it go off ever, but I like that that card exists. I don't know how good it is, but I like that it exists. Oh. And then I had the World Shaper. It's the 4 mana 3/3 merfolk that whenever it attacks, mill 3. And when it dies, put all land cards from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. I let my friend have it, and I'm realizing that would have been really good in CDUC. Why did I let him have that? Oh well, he needed it for a Canlander deck, so I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, it'd be okay in CDC. I don't know. I need to tune my CDC deck a bit more. Doing a multicolor. Atsukan Seer. This is the, it's a 3 mana 2/3 human that can just tap for any color for, well, 1 green, blue, white. You can also sacrifice it and return a creature card to your hand, which is like, really? This is an amazing card. Like, I actually only used its sacrifice effect once, and that was to, trigger these other gold card I have, which is the Journey to Eternity. I'll talk about that when I get to Journey to Eternity, but it was great. I'm actually considering putting it into my 5-color, well now, I actually cut down my 5-color human deck to a 4-color human deck, finally, because it just, reasons. I'll talk about that later in another video. But I don't know. It's like a 2/3 human that taps for any color. I need to look at what other vampire I have and see if I want to switch it out. We opened an Azor, but we couldn't play it. Just because like the double white, double blue requirement is really hard, especially since white blue isn't really an archetype. I considered trying to go for it because they had amazing fixing, but it was too greedy and I was already doing another splash. Didn't play with any planeswalkers, or any of the legendaries besides that. Didn't even have any of the lords or anything. We opened the Relentless Raptor, but we just weren't playing it because we weren't in the colors. We did have the Stormfleet Sprinter, which is the 3-mana 2/2 can't be blocked haste, but I don't think we actually ever cast it. Okay, Journey to Eternity. This card is busted. And the one time we were actually able to play it and flip it, we didn't even need it, so that was good. We actually had a really good deck. If we hadn't made a few play mistakes, like I think we could have easily gone 4-0, but 3-1, I will take it. But it's enchanted creature control. It's for 1 black green. When it dies, return that creature back to the battlefield under control, and then return this Journey to Eternity transformed under control. So it will already recur at something. I played this on Akakan Seer. I played this Colossal Dreadmaw. They removed the Colossal Dreadmaw. Next turn, I cast this on my Seer, tapping it, sacrifice and target my Dreadmaw, return Dreadmaw to my hand, return this to the battlefield, and return this back flipped then. And on the back side, it's tap, add 1 mana of an enemy color to your mana pool, solid, and or 3 black green, return target creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. So, yeah, it essentially lets you do 5 mana, recur something from the graveyard. This is going into Sidisi, definitely, because why would you want to do graveyard shenanigans with Sidisi? And the other flip card we had, I mean, we also had a Legion's Landing, which I actually eventually cut from my deck, just because it wasn't doing enough, but it's from Ixalan, was the Profane Procession. It's the 1 black white one. I actually never cast this. This is actually my friend's promo. But you can, so you pay that, and it doesn't do anything on ETB, but you can pay 5, 3 white black to exile target creature, and then if you have 3 or more, you get to transform it, and then it taps for any color, and you can then pay 4 white or 2 white black to just return one of those creatures you exiled. But the one game where I actually had it and was ready to cast it, we didn't actually game, we just won. Oh boo-hoo, I didn't need to cast my amazing card that just starts exiling 3 creatures. But yeah, no, that's all I can say. I gotta say though, I just love the art in this set, especially the lands. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, I'm always down for some good landscape art, but I just really love the landscapes in the set, and especially the basics. I love the basics in this one. I wish they would go back to the thing that they did in our, where like, I'm just not having all the basics being full art, but like the 1 in 4 basics being full art, I would have really liked, because just this art is so gorgeous. Although probably my favorite art in the set, honestly, is probably Highland Lake. It's just a gorgeous sunset over this waterfall going down. It's really good. No Bradley did that, and it's just, it's beautiful. Good job. Yeah. So, well, this has been kind of just like a wrap up of my first impressions of Rivals. I'll need to draft it probably next weekend, just at the draft weekend, and just to see how it goes and how it drafts. Hopefully I'll be a bit less linear than Ixalan. Otherwise I probably won't draft it that much. Like, I'm so far from a game store, so it's hard for me to draft all the time, but hopefully I'll be able to. But yeah, words that mean things. If nothing else, I feel like that's enough for my vampire deck, that like, hey, it's a good one. And it's also just like a lot of cool things for EDH that I really like, which is what I care about, because it's cool EDH stuff. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my rambling about my day, essentially, which is essentially getting to beat people in with a giant, why can't I remember the name of it? Vetalpa, that's the name. What is it called? It's bugging me. What's the flying one's called? Oh no. Pterodactyl. Giant pterodactyl. I know they're called like pterodons or something, or they're not technically dinosaurs, but they're cool, and I could beat people in with a flying double strike indestructible vigilance one, and that was fun. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later.